In this video, we're going to try to replace the airbag clock spring on your Dodge Ram located inside your steering wheel. Using a 3/8 wrench, we're going to go ahead and loosen our ground terminal here. Now at this point here, before we jump into the vehicle, you have two options. Number one, let the vehicle sit for about 30 minutes. This is going to allow for the electrical system to discharge because you will be tampering with the airbag system. Your second option is to go into this fuse box right here. I'm going to open this up. On the inside, you want to go ahead and locate your airbag components. In this case here, it's airbag number 52 and 53, which is to be located on these two yellow units right here. You're going to pinch these here and pull them up. This is going to disconnect the power to your airbags. We can go ahead and start working on that steering wheel now. I want to go ahead and remove our tilt lever here. So we're going to tilt this down and pull it straight down. There's just a little retaining tab in here that holds that. So go ahead and set that aside. Now I want to go ahead and loosen the two Torx bit screws securing the upper to the lower. The first one is right here. Using a T20 Torx bit, I'm going to go ahead and loosen that screw. There's a third screw on the bottom on the far right. Now we're going to tilt our wheel down a little bit. Just pop your finger on there. You can only press in on the side of the cover here. We're going to do this on both sides and split the case. You can pull the boot off of your shift lever here. Just go ahead and pull this cover off. Set that aside. And we'll go ahead and do the same for the bottom. Now, in order for us to remove our airbag assembly from the steering wheel, there are two 10mm bolts. There's one at about 3 o'clock and the other one at 9 o'clock behind the steering wheel. Now, gain access to that there. We're going to go ahead and put our key into the on position. And we're going to turn our wheel like this. Use your 10mm socket. Once we have that one out, go ahead and repeat for the other side. I'm going to go ahead and crank our steering wheel back to center here. Make sure that the front wheels are centered. The line through the airbag is lined up right with our hazard switch. Good, turn that key back, lock that. Now go ahead and pull our airbag unit off. And on the back side, we're going to have some wire and connectors we want to go ahead and disconnect. Now we're going to go ahead and pinch these little tabs here, and these are going to disconnect the wires from your SRS system. You could try and do it with your fingertips. Grab those there, pinch those, and just pull them out. I'm going to use a pick here. I'm going to press in right on this little white tab right here and pull this connector off. Then you want to go ahead and set that airbag system in a safe spot. Now right here to the right of your SRS wiring is two connectors here. I want to go ahead and remove those from the airbag clock spring. I'm going to use a pick and press down on the little tab on the top. Pull that one out. So now that we have this connector undone, we're going to go ahead and use our pick and we're going to pull the harness down. And for this one here, we need to go just on the top side right here. I'm going to press down on that clip and disconnect that like so. And go ahead and tuck those wires back up inside like so. Using a 13mm socket and extension, go ahead and loosen and remove the 13mm bolt in the center of the steering wheel. Making sure that your wheel is centered. Now, one last thing I'm going to do before we pull this off, I'm going to use a black Sharpie marker and mark the shaft and the steering itself. That way we can go ahead and line those up on our reinstallation. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and bonk the back side of the steering wheel, working our way around to evenly pull this off of the steering shaft itself. So sometimes the steering wheel can be a little complicated to pull off of the spline shaft, like ours is right now. We're going to go ahead and use our steering wheel puller. Now we want to make sure when you're installing this tool here that you do not drive the bolts beyond the steering wheel and into the clock spring. Now when using this tool, you want to make sure that it is flush, that one bolt isn't tighter than the other, causing this to be crooked. You want to make sure it's nice and flush. Go ahead and set that steering wheel aside. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the two screws holding the clock spring. Then once you get those screws removed, go ahead and take the clock spring, pull that down. On the bottom side, you're going to have two connectors. Pop those out. I'm going to take the new clock spring. I'm going to line this up. Now the two connectors are different, so you can't mess that up. Snap these into place. And then bring this up. Let's get our two screws installed. I'm just going to get that started. Do the same for the other. Once we have them both in, we'll go ahead and snug them down. Now right here is a 12 o'clock center release clip. This is a safety unit. We're going to remove that later. I'm going to go ahead and feed our wires through. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. Now your steering wheel itself has splines inside here, and there's a little keyway on the top, so it should line up with the shaft itself as well as your marker point here. Once that lines up, go ahead and press this on. Our steering wheel is all the way on. Our marker points line up. Snap that in. We can go ahead and remove our tab right here. Just pull that straight out. Go ahead and take the other connector, line that up, snap that into place. Go ahead and tuck the harness up into the wheel retainer here. Once we have our wires tucked into place, let's go ahead and get the bolt in for the steering wheel. Let's go ahead and torque down the center bolt here to 45 foot-pounds. Let's go ahead and grab our connector here. We're going to line that up. Snap that on. Go ahead and install our SRS wire here. I'll make sure that they snap into place. Tuck our wires in. Set this back into place. Install the key, turn it to the on position. You can now go ahead and turn our wheel. Let's go ahead and install the 2 bolts on the back side. I want to go ahead and torque down those bolts to 90 inch-pounds. Repeat for the other side. Now that we have the airbag unit on, let's go ahead and straighten out the wheel. Move that key. Grab our lower column cover, slide this up into place. Now when installing our lower cover, I want to make sure that the tilt lever bar comes through first. And once we feed that through, we can now go ahead and line up the driver's side here with the lock cylinder, snap that into place, install the upper portion, feed that down and in. Line up the hazard button on the top. Line everything up over here. Let's go ahead and get our screws installed. Okay, just want to snug that down. Right beside that is a silver screw. Snug that down. And then our last third black screw goes over on the driver's side by the tilt lever. Snug that down. And grab our tilt lever here. Slide that down. Snap it into place. Go ahead and slide your shifter boot over and down. Go ahead and snap that on. Now with these fuses here, in order to reinstall them, you can't just push them down into place. You need to take these little ears and push them outward and press that fuse down into place. Snap that in. We're going to go ahead and do the same for this one here behind it. And press that down. Go ahead and grab your fuse box cover. Pop that into place and lock that down. install the ground terminal here. Once we have this secure, you want to go ahead and hop into the vehicle, turn the key to the on position, check everything out, go ahead and proceed to starting the vehicle and check for any abnormal lights. If everything is clear, you are all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.